Greetings! This is Dogan and welcome to Let's Play Civilization 6. I've been a Civilization fan since about the 4th game in the franchise. I have seen, but was not particularly over enamoured with Civilization 3. But Civilization 4 inspired me to love the series. The changes to Civilization 5 from 4, especially with the shift to Steam, they don't normally do Steam games, it was enough that I didn't actually play Civilization 5 till at least 7 years after it, and all the DLCs and the expansions that come out. But once I started playing it after boycotting it because I didn't like the changes, I actually started finding a lot to like about it, and that meant, in doing so, that basically I got Civilization 6 without even thinking about it, and it's a great game as far as I can tell. I finished a few games. There's a couple of things that I do and a couple of things I don't like about it. I mean, for me, the biggest problem with Civilization in any of the games has always been the fact that you want to have fast-spanning empires, yet the time it takes to build such fast-spanning empires just means that it doesn't seem realistic or anywhere like real life, as it were. I mean, maybe if there's like 18 plus nations, stuff like that, you might get some, but yeah. But then saying that, I mean, I've always kind of found that the balance between technology and the cost of actually building stuff is kind of off. I mean, it sounds stupid, but I like the idea that if you research something and you open up something, you should have a chance to be able to play with it. You have a chance to be able to get a load of the new units and be able to build your own building, or further technology unlocks new stuff, and that kind of, well, seems that is the main problem, because it's like, well, you can't always keep up with the technology. What I find is that the technology itself can be slower, but the units and stuff should be faster. And I did spend some time with Civilization 4 doing a mod which did just that, and unfortunately I'm not much of a programmer, so what I could do some simple rebalancing. A lot of the changes were simply beyond my scope. I mean, I might have to do a mod in Civilization 6, but I do like hobby of mine, but don't actually have time to do it. Anyway, enough waffling, more play. Okay. Now, what I normally do, I like random things. I've been playing, well, I normally play on set difficulty, because you know what I like for the easiest difficulties. And in this, I found that actually there doesn't seem to, apart from certain AI behaviours, there doesn't actually seem to be quite that much difference. I mean, I kind of like the idea of starting from an early one and then like a low easy setting, getting to learn the game and then building up. I mean, that's how I tend to play. So, I mean, if I can't beat the game on Saturday, then I've got no idea completely games on any others. And it's a good way to get to build the sort of games that I like to play. terms of game speed, I personally prefer marathon games, but in order to kind of get to the end of the timeline quickly and learn more about the game, I tend to go for the fast ones. It's another one of those where if I get more, once I complete the game on the quicker speeds, then the longer speeds are worth the challenge, especially on bonuses. For example, if you get something to 30%, that's 50% reduction. On a marathon game, you could easily be looking at saving 10 to 20 turns, whereas in an online game, you're lucky if you're saving 1 at online speed. But it does, like I said, it helps you get to the end of the timeline quicker. As for maps, I tend to play. I don't mind playing different maps. I tend to play shuffling is about important. I like to try the different maps, especially when I'm trying things out, because there's nothing worse than playing an ocean-based scenario, or ocean-based leader on a landlocked kind of map, or vice versa. So I tend to, for easiness, I tend to go for Pangaea because it is a massive landmass. You do get to have a good land war, basically. The only downside, and there's no barriers. You don't have to. You're going to get contact easier, and you don't have to learn to cross the sea to get to your opponents. Finally, I'm going to go with map size. Now, I love huge maps and stuff like that. It's just that they take so long, because especially if I'm playing marathon. And yet another one of those. Well, if I can't beat it on the earlier ones, then what's the point of having even more opponents? Especially with some victory conditions. I don't like turning the victory conditions on. So I'll go with duels with just 2 players for now, and then just to see, get some idea of what's going on and stuff, and to show the game off a bit. It limits diplomacy, and what I have found is that duel is incredibly tough because of the ease with which you can win or lose a religious victory. The only way to stop missionaries and apostles is to have a religion of your own that you're engaging in a holy war with, or you actually go to war and start killing them. There's no other way. And generally that means that it's just easy. I mean, there's only one other opponent to beat you. And if you can do that without even having to go into war through a religious victory, then that's it. And the problem is the game is over as soon as you adopt the religion, which you don't actually have any control of. So it's like you can be going for your own victory and doing whatever, then suddenly a missionary comes in, and boom, it's game over. And the alternative you've got is you either accept your defeat, or you reload and then find out where that missionary is and kill it, putting you into perpetual war. Which, since I am quite the builder and the explorer, isn't necessarily. I don't particularly want to go into perpetual war or perpetual village, but neither do I want to take them victories off, because it seems like cheating. So we'll see what we can do. I mean, I have played this quite a few times on speed and this setting. great for a test to see if there's. I mean, I know a lot of people are doing Civilization 6, but it's a new game. Avac is one of many that are doing Civilization. So I wanted to limit. I'm going to limit this to once a week. It's a game I do actually enjoy playing compared to the other games I want to play for the purpose of Let's Play. So. We've got to love the music. Let's go ahead and start.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. Your mastery of the spoken word is a gift of great value, silver-tongued Pericles, leader of the Greeks. Through it, you can attract the devotion of a league of states, surrounding yourself with their glory. Establish cultural sites along the rocky shores of Greece to unite your people behind your strong governance. If all goes well, the sirens will sing of the age of Pericles.
We are playing as Pericles. This is quite interesting because you've got a mixture of leaders and empires. Most of the empires actually only have one leader, but the Greeks have two. They have Pericles and they have Gorgio of Sparta. And what you'll find is in the features and abilities, you've got one which is defined by your leader. In this case, it's Pericles' ability surrounded by flora, which gives us culture, which gives us additional culture. We're basically looking for a big cultural behemoth here. The Greek Empire is Plato's Republic, which gives us extra policy slots, which you'll be able to see when we come into. We have the Hoplite Unique Land, which I think replaces Spearman, one of those, and the Acropolis, which is a unique version of the cultural district. So yeah, we'll be playing this basically culturally and looking to get some governments, looking to try and get as many city-states as possible that we are in control of, not that. It'll be a very cultural and diplomatic game. Of course, bearing in mind that goes out the window as soon as the mission is started up. Now, this is quite interesting. See how we're doing. Our starting position, we have a settler. And I don't tend to move my settlers, especially at this speed. There's just no point. So we will settle. See how that goes. Now, most people would say I should go out and start exploring with my warrior, and that's probably a wise idea, but I don't like doing it. I like playing very defensively. And as such, I tend to focus on sending my warrior into fortify rather than explore. Because in my mind, if you're sending warriors out, then it can be a bit pointless sending out scouts. Especially in the likes of Civ 4, where you had to actually research scouts. So, we got. Now, here's all the things that we can build. We also have options to purchase, but we don't have any money, and purchase with both. And the interesting things is that pretty much most of the ideas from Civilization 5 and the expansions made it into the main game here. So there's a lot to play with, and it doesn't feel as if the game is empty and needs to be updated before it's worth playing. It is one of the few times where it does feel it's worth playing out of the box. Now we will have a slinger, because I like having slingers for defense. And yeah, so we have some jade and some cattle. Okay, we also got some deer and some horses. The interesting thing is they went back to the Civ 4 style of strategic resources, which I like. And they actually fixed one of the big problems with strategic resources in Civ 4 and earlier games. Gunpowder reveals niter, which you actually need for gunpowder units. So it's not a case of you stuck with warriors until you get to gunpowder and suddenly you've got everyone with guns. Instead, if you haven't got access to gunpowder, then you don't get access. Then you don't really get access to the early gunpowder units, and that's a disadvantage. But unlike Civ 5, there's no limit. If you have, for example, if we connect up the horses, we have horses in our cities, in the city, and the cities connect to it. And basically, as long as we have 2 horses, we can build horse units. If we have an encampment, which will come later, we only need 1 set of horses to build units which need horses, which is taking us back to the Civ 4 approach, which I liked. So for now, I think we will go with animal husbandry. Just because, I mean, you'll notice there are actually 2 trees at the moment. We have the tech tree here, which we start with nothing, and we start with nothing from here, and basically we go along. This is your standard Civ tech tree going all the way up to flight and stuff, future tech, you name it. Okay, but what they've done this time is you have a second tree, which, apart from instead of starting from nothing, you have to research the first tech, which opens up your ability to have the chieftain government and the first set of policies. And we'll cover more to that, but it is pretty much, once you've opened that, you pretty much progress down through the civics, like a civic tech tree but based on culture. Going all the way up to social media and globalisation and the information. So there's quite a bit. You're essentially playing, but ultimately what it means is you're playing with 2 kind of tech trees now. So yeah. The first few turns are fairly kind of boring, especially since I'm not out. But I like it because it gives, the way barbarians work is they have to find you, and then when they find you,
our city continues to prosper. Already our people thrive and our population grows.
basically they have to find you and then report back to their camp, from which point the camp will then spawn units to attack your city. So if you're not sending out a unit to find the camps and scouts, it takes them slightly longer to reach you. For example, here we've got a scout.
I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals.
So yeah, we've got a scout here who's seen our city. He will run off and head back and basically try and start attacking. He can't actually attack them with our barbarian, with our own warrior. And even then, unless we can kill it, we're still driving them off. So, but the first thing is we complete our research. So let's go for something else. In this case, I will go with mining, because not only does it allow us to connect with jade, but we can start dealing with wood. So we'll do that.
We have trained our first ranged unit, capable of hitting enemies from afar, while out of the range of hand-to-hand combat.
Okay, so we will move our warriors out to start trying to stop and kill the barbarians. You know they're coming.
It is best to use caution when moving close to enemy units. Doing so will often force the unit to be in the enemy's zone of control, restricting its movement.
Right, meanwhile, we'll leave our slingers in the city too, because basically they only have a range of one, but the cities don't actually begin with the ability to actually bombard enemies. That comes later. You get to research it. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we'll have a look see if there's anything. We've got some money. So, for example, this one I like, purchasing territory, and what we normally go for is try and go for the one with the that gives you the most. For example, buy the horses, that speeds that up, and then that growth can be used elsewhere. So, meanwhile, we need a scout. Send our warriors out to follow the barbarians. Not really much going on at the moment.
Enacting new policies in our government can be of great benefit. Our people await your decree.
It is not wisdom, but authority that makes a law.
Okay, so let's change our policy. We've now gone into our government with the first one. We've opened up the government of chiefdom. It doesn't give us any abilities, but it does allow us to have 2 policy slots. Early policy slots being divided into 4 main categories. You have the military policies, which, for example, double experience for recon points and +5 strength, combat strength when fighting barbarians. Now these are early kind of policies to put in. And since we've seen the barbarians, we'll go with the ever popular unit combat strength. There's economic policies, which the ever popular +1 production in all cities is always good, because we're going to be building stuff. I tend, unless we're going for something that's religious, tend to stay away from God King, because as much fun as it is to get faith and to get that first pantheon, there are other ways of getting it, and unless you're in a rush because you have a religious based civilization or leader, there's not really much point to it. We don't have any diplomatic policies, but then we don't have any diplomatic policy slots either, so it doesn't matter. And finally, you would have wildcard policies. These basically in this slot down here, you can put any sort of policy in that you want. In our case, we want to go exploring, so we're going to put the survey. Might be tempted to put the to go for a pantheon, but generally I'm not that bothered about it. Whereas double experience for recon units tends to make them a lot faster and a lot more survivable, in my opinion. So, any sort of, either of them can go in there, as well as the wildcard policies, which we will see some of later. But now we've set that, and we're going to confirm those. see, where do we want to go? I mean, we'll still follow these problems. We have to choose which of these we would like to do next, and right now we'll do craftsmanship, which opens up a couple more policies. But what you'll notice under here is there's this thing where half the research bar is coloured. If you get a specific bonus or do a specific action, that gets filled up automatically for you, and it can finish off the research. In the case of craftsmanship, it's improved 3 tiles. So if we improve our cows, our horses, and the jade, for example, that will easily boost that for us. We'll get cutting that by half, which is interesting because I tend to use that for a more story-based, because I tend to go for the boosted options before the non-boosted ones, even if I don't need them. And unfortunately, with a map this small, the boost for foreign trade doesn't tend to happen. It doesn't happen at all. It's all one continent. Because the interesting thing is, a continent in the game is not a single land mass, but a single region on the land mass, depending on size. So even if you're playing Pangaea, the single continent can be split up into various regions. A bit like the continent of Eurasia and technically with Africa, because they're all technically joined, is one landmass, but that actually counts as 3 continents. The same with North and South America, where even though it's joined, it counts as one. It counts as 2 continents. So, anyway, 27 minutes. See how we're going.
Reconnaissance units like scouts are unique in that they can gain experience by exploring and discovering parts of the world.
Who deserves more credit than the wife of a coal miner?
So, we've come up to combat. Now this, one of the things I see is that the way the combat screen works is we are always on the right. That is us. Because it's the same box that has it. Left is our opponent. It can get confusing, but if you look down, it lists our strength bonuses, our combat strength bonuses, and you'll notice that we have a +2 bonus due to the fact that we have different because we're on the settler difficulty, which is the easiest. So it's not that much of a bonus in like Civ 5 and Civ 4. You could easily be getting a 25% bonus on top of whatever against barbarians, making them somewhat trivial. But here, even with the easy bonus and the advantage versus barbarians, you're still going to have to try and keep up an arms race if you want to deal with them, simply because they can easily be destroyed, because the differences aren't as significant anymore. You won't get it's not quite bad that you get spearmen taking tanks out, for example. Anyway, we will do this round. Combat. That's good. We have our scout. Now what we will do is send our scout out to explore, so that we can keep our warrior kind of near. For now, we'll just kind of, because what's interesting, movement is different in this, because now you have to have the full amount before you can move into a space. That's if it costs 2 points to move onto hills or into a forest. But if you've only got one movement point, then you have to wait until the next turn to get into that space. You don't get to do it. You don't get to do it, and then basically that's it. That ends your turn. It's the case you simply don't have enough points to move into that space. So the game is slightly slower in that regard. Okay, do our research. What have we got? Well, right now, we've got all these things, but we will do possible. You'll notice that both trees have boosts, and they're called different things. And one's inspiration, and the other's Eureka's. But for now, we will have pottery. That's idolatry. We have money, so let's see what we got. Basically, I generally go for growth over production, because I like to have growth because basically more population equals more work tiles. I've always played that way. The other interesting thing is you kind of need the space now, because it's not stuck in a city. It's not like that's as far as your city will go. We'll see later when you get districts and other bits where basically you're actually building over the places where you've put improvements. For now, we'll buy that one. Let's go, because what we need to do right now is we need to build a builder unit. So,
We have discovered a city-state. Establishing diplomatic relations with them will surely be beneficial for our empire. Perhaps we should send them an envoy. There are several different types of city-states, and each may provide different benefits in return for our friendship. Our government, over time, will allow us to earn envoys to grow these relationships.
Okay, so I am going to call it there. This has been Darvain, and the first of my Let's Play Civilization 6. Let's change that. We will have okay, 01. Well, we know who that is. We don't need to. Oh, place 01. There we go. We'll save that turn. Okay. And as basically, this has been Darvain, playing as Pericles, leader of one of the Greek leaders, in Let's Play Civilization 6. Next time I will explain more about the game and hopefully carry on and see basically how things are going. We haven't met our opponent yet, so it's still quite quiet, and we've not really had that many turns. So, as always, if you like what you hear and see, be sure to like, subscribe, share and comment, and as always, until next time, goodbye.